Hello everyone, this is Jasmine, aka Gladiatorinsweats, and I'm here with the daily tarot message for July 19th, 2018, and it is Thursday, so happy Thursday to everyone. I have misplaced my headphones, so I don't have a closer mic, so hopefully you're able to hear things clearly, even with this phone recording. But just to get into the message for today, so the galactic energy signature for today is the white rhythmic wind. And I'll go ahead and read the code. I organize in order to communicate, balancing breath. I seal the input of spirit with the rhythmic tone of equality. I'm guided by the power of my own doubled. And so what comes to mind is all this heavy, what I feel is Libran energy right off the bat. Even with the words, if you want to just get conscious of, just the words of the spirit and, rhythmic tone of equality, of communication. These are all kinds of hot or key words for Libran energy. But more than that, we do have the moon currently in Libra. It's currently moving through, and it will soon move into Scorpio tomorrow. But today, as it opposes Uranus, I feel there has been this need to make a decision, but that we're really feeling pushed to, I don't want to necessarily feel pushed or rushed, but it's really, there's this need to focus on ourselves, focusing on balancing our own emotions and our emotional body. Here in the center with this Eight of Cups, of moving away, of detaching, of seeking deeper meaning. But I'm seeing this as almost just like seeking deeper waters, even the way that it's walking away from these cups. Underneath, we do have Temperance, the Magician, and Justice. First and foremost, there are three major arcana cards. And so ultimately, I feel people are mulling over just very deep spiritual things, really mulling over their own personal power, the ways in which maybe their power doesn't feel so much like their own. And not just that, but I feel here there's a balancing of emotions, moving into a new enlightened confidence to balance ourselves out karmically. With this full card above, I do feel this again. There's this continuation, or this moving close to 0 point, I feel. Moving up, away from the past, as in terms of karmic emotions. Tapping into your inner magic. When I see this Magician here, but when I see the Temperance, and the way that the way I'm kind of seeing this man in this Eight of Cups is almost the way I think he's leaving land to get into the water. In the picture, you're not entirely sure where he's walking, but then when I see this Temperance card, and I kind of see this as moving from land, going into water, I think of like a turtle, and I think of, really submersing yourself in the more of the emotional realm, taking control, being in control of that realm. And that's what I see here with this Chariot in reverse here of us working on better controlling and driving our emotional body and our emotional vehicle, if you will. Moving from a physical focus of power and potential and the appearance of doing, and really tapping into the potential of emotional strength, emotional resolve, of the inner power that is able to, create. And I feel like that is what ends up moving, or not ends up, but helps us move into not just into our power, but the way that I'm seeing these cards in reverse is that's what I feel is helps flip the switch and flips a lot of these cards over. We do have here at the bottom, I feel there's a need to focus on the present, acknowledge what's in front of you. We do have this 10 of rods here to the left, and I see this in two ways. I see it in us really coming into a release of us finally letting go. whether it's because we choose to or whether it's because we just have gotten so tired or something happens where like you're just not able to hold all the sticks anymore. But I feel here the way that the man's even looking or not looking at the sticks, or he's like not really paying attention to his surroundings. I feel it's just like in the process of just trying to get these sticks where they're trying to go. Even the way that this card really has no background. I feel like a lot of these cards have not like they have a lot of extra pieces, but there's little parts that kind of help you build this story. But with the 10 of rods, there's nothing but the burden, nothing but the focus of the burden. And that's what I feel is really needing to be released, of not really looking at the burden. I feel it's sort of kind of looking past the way that we even have this 7 of Pentacles. I see this as like an assessment of us looking at what has been planted and looking at what has rooted and kind of crept up at this point, I feel here. But I also I do feel this is like looking forward, looking at what it is that you want to create, what it is that you are actively creating, or just what it is that you are what it is that you're doing. What comes to mind is just the way that this 9 or this 8 of rods is actually kind of, I feel like it's trying to tap on the man's shoulder. And the way that I see these rods is, connected to this 10 of rods, and the 10 of rods being like this old burden of the past, or really just these burdens that we have carried on much longer than we have needed to, or that is necessary. And so I kind of see this as them trying to get our back. I see it as it, not really get our back, but like, I see it as not letting the burdens, or not letting any issues, or any things that start to happen, or any changes that start to swiftly start moving in our life, keeping that from focusing on what we want to do, or just focusing on ourselves and in remaining in self-awareness. I feel like a lot of this does have to do with Mars. I don't know why this that comes to me, but even with this 8 of rods, for whatever reason, this makes me think of Mars in Aquarius at the moment. But where it's conjunct the North Node, as I've mentioned before. But acknowledging what needs to be changed. Just really facing the issue, just working on what it is that you working on yourself. That's ultimately what I feel. I don't really feel like this is about like working on an actual physical project. But up top here with this Fool and Queen of Pentacles here, I feel like this is just like a burst, or really a connection to this inner feminine guidance that helps us, or not necessarily helps us, but is supporting us. Or this could really be the energy that we begin to embody as we again focus on ourselves, nourish ourselves, and not just nourishing ourselves, but of I see this as looking at inner value in a new way, like not knocking the value of the inner value. I feel this is the way I want to put it. The way that I see this is like the way now it can feel almost corny when there's quotes of like, don't judge a book by its cover, or of, I forget what the joke is, of when you tell someone that, or tell a kid that they're super smart, or they can do whatever they want, and there's a joke that like, oh, that's something you tell a kid that's not attractive. And I don't even remember or where I even heard this sort of notion, but that's kind of what I feel here, is that there's this needing to acknowledge this inner value. There's needing to acknowledge not just this inner value, but there's this unearthing of our inner talents and our inner abilities. And these are really abilities that have always existed, but we maybe have turned a blind eye to. I did want to pull a few oracle cards just to give like any additional clarification or just confirmation of what it is that I've picked up on. And we do have the rainbow dragon with the golden Atlantean dragon. And just first tapping into this rainbow dragon of bringing the leap of joy that opens doors. I feel that is heavily prominent of this newness that is coming in. There's a sun behind the mountains here in this temperance card, where I feel there's this preparation that's taking place. That's the way that I'm seeing the temperance card here. And then even in the Fool card, of course, there's the sun in the corner. And just when I think of rainbows, I think of completion. I think of, a lot of water in order to see the rainbow whenever, there's a storm. Even the way you even look in this card and there's, the gray clouds, but the rainbow is jumping sort of like over the clouds. Almost as if, when you get through the difficulties, or when the difficulties fade, then you're able to start seeing the colors. And I do feel like that's the general energy for a lot of us. Is there's a lot of like purging and just transition that is really uncomfortable, I feel. I know for a lot of us that have been sick, I know as I've mentioned, I've been sick, my children have been sick, like everyone has been really, really ill lately. And so I kind of see that as this rainbow card, as we're really prepping to walk into brand new energies, brand new opportunities, things that we maybe never would have thought possible for ourselves. And even there's this mentioning of rediscovering wisdom, and that's what I feel leads us to this golden Atlantean dragon, of remembering this wisdom, of bringing back this ancient knowledge, ancient gifts, ancient talents, as the word card says, reclaiming your mastery. And I feel like that's even what's coming in through the cards, of this reclaiming, or really reclaiming mastery over our emotional bodies, reclaiming control over our energy manipulation, and just how we build ourselves up and how we act. Like when I see this pentacle energy, I think of like the physical. I think of how someone is not just practical, but I also think of value, of intangible value, of, I think of physical things, but I really think of things that don't glitter. I think of, and that's what I really feel here with this Fool, though. I really feel, even with Uranus and Taurus, just a complete shift of values being here. And I feel ultimately this Fool with the Queen of Pentacles is talking about this Uranus and Taurus. But maybe I'll do some more notes, or a little bit more meditating to kind of see more about what I pick up on that. But other than that, I really think that's kind of it. We did have Ace of Cups as the bottom of the deck too, so, and even in the card you see this bright yellow orb, and again I see this as this new opportunity, this new door opening. I'm even just thinking of the lunar eclipse that's coming up, and I don't know why every time I see like these glowing orbs, I'm thinking of a new source of light. I'm thinking of a new source of light. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this resonates, or hope it reaches you well. I send you guys all my love and wishing you all many blessings. I'm trying to think, are there any other real updates? Not very sure. I believe that's really it. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you would like some more frequent content or just updates on what I'm doing. This past week it's just been really weird, just with everyone being sick, and it's just been really interesting. So I've been taking my time, and not sure if I will have a video for tomorrow, but I'm working on a few things, so just stay tuned, or click the notification bell in case you wanted regular updates. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday, and until next time.